All right, so this is my grinder, 250-pound capacity Hobart. I am not in a cold room. So what I do with all of the parts and pieces, I go ahead and take them, toss them in the freezer. Makes everything go smoother, then everything gets chilled. I also add ice to my grind. So that way, once everything is put together and everything's moving, it keeps all of the mechanisms, the blades, the head, all that keeps that cold. So we're gonna go ahead, put this together, and we'll see what's going on. All right, the first thing I'm gonna pop on is the head. Just pop that in. Tighten that up nice. You always want to make sure everything on here is nice and tight. If you have anything loose, what's going to happen is all of these pieces. So that's your blade, and that's your plate. If everything's loose, this is going to start to wobble on there, and you're not going to get a good grind. It's going to come out looking like spaghetti, and that's never fun because all the cartilage and everything just gets stuck right in here, and you are in for a bad time. So I put the worm in. And again, all of these just came out of the freezer, so everything's nice and cold. Put the blade on. Get the plate on there. That collar on. What's nice when everything's frozen too, it's metal, so it all kind of contracts. It goes on a little bit easier. So I just want to make sure everything on it is on there tight. And toss the mixer arm in. Right, pop this on. All right, that one doesn't have to be as tight because it's really not doing anything. So I do not have three-phase running my shop. So you can kind of see in the corner over there, there's a three-phase converter, and it works fantastic. We kind of have this rigged up to where usually you'd be able to use all these buttons independently. Just have it just mix to stop it. Mix and grind. We have this one set up just on the foot pedal. So, can't really see it in the frame. But when you touch it, it goes. So, let me go ahead, we'll get all this stuff weighed up, and we'll get grinding. All right, so this customer wanted everything, both sides ground separately. So we have 4 lugs in total. So we're gonna go ahead and get a weight on all these. All right. And I get weights on all these so I know how much to charge. We do charge for grind just because of packing materials and labor, stuff like that. All right, so we're gonna go ahead and toss this in. Like I said, we do add ice to our grind, just to make sure everything runs smoothly through the machine. So we will go ahead and toss this in. put this in the back. The way this grinder is set up, there's gaskets right up against where the worm is and where the mixing arm is. So it all goes down at an angle, so if you got something that's been in a lug for a day or two, there's gonna be a lot of excess blood, and that's gonna leak out, so we just toss a paper towel under there, catch all that. All right. There's a small layer of ice. And this will be good for this batch. Toss the rest of this in. Good to go. We'll stop this, get you guys a better angle. All right, so we're gonna go ahead and get this crown. It's gonna be loud for a minute. I'll probably end up time lapsing this anyway, so you're probably not gonna hear it, but here we go. As you can see, everything's kind of coming out as it should. Nice all together, fat. Meat kind of mixed in with each other. I always do my first grind on a fine plate. Then once I go into packing, because I pack right off the grinder, I switch to a coarse plate so there's just not as much pressure. Just makes life a little bit easier. I'll show you that switch in a minute. All right, so everything's ground. I won't stop the video yet. I'll go ahead and switch that head to that plate. So that is the coarse plate. A little bit bigger holes. I like to do second grinds because as you can kind of see, it is somewhat mixed up in there, the fat and meat content, but as soon as you put it through a second time, that all really starts to mix in together and have a better quality ground beef. Sometimes that collar gets pretty on there. Go through, you can see all that. So that's all the cartilage, stuff like that, that wouldn't work its way through. So we'll take all that off, toss it. Don't try this one at home. Clean out the rest of whatever's in there. You don't want that in your grind. All right, put the blade back. Put that coarse plate on. And this is just a regular sausage horn. You can pick this up on Amazon or anything like that. This one is for if you're doing like bratwurst and stuff like that, but I found it works amazing for putting burger and cryovac bags. So we'll get this tossed on. And I'll probably stop you guys for a second, get all set up, and next we'll probably just do a big old time lapse of me packaging burgers. And we're back. So I package all my stuff in 6 to 10 cryovac bags. For me, that's just what works best. I put about a pound in. I usually have the scale on top of the grinder for the first couple just to gauge how much I'm putting in, because if you don't, all of a sudden you end up with 1.5 pounds. And most customers don't mind because extra burger's extra burger. But this customer specifically wants 1 pound packages. So we're gonna make sure we do that. So we're gonna get going with this. And again, more than likely, I'll end up time lapsing some of this, just because it does take a little bit. So we don't want to bore you with 10 minutes of me putting meat in bags. So here we go. All right, so that's the side of beef ground. What I'm gonna do is I'm gonna go ahead and grind that other side, get that done, and next time you see me, we'll be packing. All right, guys, we're back. So I'm gonna start vacuum sealing everything now. I have a thermal printer that prints out all my labels for me. It's awesome. I have the app right on my phone. It is a Brothers 810 thermal labeler. Works off of Wi-Fi, connects right to my phone. It's real easy. The Cryovac machine I have is a VacMaster 210. It's technically the no maintenance version, so there's no pump that you have to change the oil on. It works really great. I like it a lot. If I could do it again, I'd spend the money and buy a bigger one. I've put plenty of cows through, but as you can see, it's only got a 12-inch bar. So if you're doing anything bigger than 6x10s, you can only put in one package at a time, and that gets tedious when you're doing a whole cow. So I'm just gonna start going for it. And I am going to time lapse a lot of this, so you don't just have to sit here for 20 minutes and watch me label everything. All right, so let's get to it. All right, so we're just going through the rest of the packaging now. I just wanted to show you guys the label. So everything's marked on there, date, what it is, name of my shop. Everything is marked not for sale because I'm custom exempt. Nothing that comes through my shop can be sold. It has to go through a USDA facility. So a lot of my customers they've raised beef and they'll give half to a family member or something along those lines. But as again, you're not in a cold room, we'll try to bust through this as much as possible. I like to trim the ends of my Cryovac bags. You don't have to, I just think it works a little bit nicer. And It's got all extra bag in there. So I'm gonna go ahead and finish this up, and when we come back, I'll go ahead and show you guys what the freezer looks like with everything in it. All right guys, just want to show you the finished product. I love these old commercial freezers. I usually can pick them up fairly cheap on Facebook Marketplace, something like that. It's the ones where the Freon actually runs through the shelving. For what I do, it's fantastic. I always split my cuts. I do one day and my grind to do the next. That way I'm not overworking it. I put all this stuff in here yesterday. Everything is absolutely frozen solid. Don't have to worry about it. So now the freezer can work and get all these frozen solid. Customers picking up tomorrow, and they will most likely all be frozen the way they're stacked. The ones on the door might be a little soft, but again, they're going straight into another freezer. So that's the daily grind. So hope you guys have a great day.